Welcome to Learn with Swasti. This is the analysis of Language 1 English from paper 1 of the 7th July 2024 paper. This is set B, and in case these videos are helpful, do give it a like or put in a comment. So let's begin. So the first passage is a story of Bill and Pat. So Pat is a girl, Bill is her brother. So let's go through the questions. So study the following statement. Pat is bold and compassionate. Yes, we know that she is compassionate and she's bold. Bill is protective of Pat but not timid. So this is also correct. A badly hit car was parked by the sidewalk. So this they see later. So this is wrong. So A and B are right, but C is wrong is the correct answer. Pat gave a little gasp and I braked at once. So and is a conjunction. Which of the following statement is right? The stranger did not seem badly hurt, so this is right. The Mini Morris went past the stranger and then stopped, so both are right. Both A and B are correct. So Bill was traveling with his sister. It was then that I saw the car. So when did you see the car? Then. So it's talking about a time. So this is an adverb clause. He loomed up in front of. So loomed up means appeared. So gradually, the opposite in meaning to gradually will be suddenly. Which of the following statements are correct? Because of the snow, he was driving slowly. It was night time, so there was no traffic. He was not driving in a carefree manner. It was dead of the night, so he was feeling drowsy. We don't know this. There was snowfall and a ditch along the road, so Bill was driving very carefully. Now, if you look at the ditch is not really mentioned. He sees the ditch later, so because of snow, he was driving very slowly. Which of the following statement here is not correct? So after slowing down, Bill hesitated. Why did he hesitate? Because it was a dark spot and he thought that it might be a case of robbery. Why do I say it was a dark spot? Because the other person had seen them coming because of their light. It was night, so they had not seen. So it was might be a case of robbery, something he had thought of. So that's the prose. Let's go to the poem. The poem is it has a lot of old English language. And let's go through the question. What was going to take place in the church? So we are reaching a place where there's a wedding which is going to take place, because later on we talk about the bride and the groom. Which one of the following statement is incorrect? He was old and dull looking. By he, I guess you mean the bride. So he was old and dull looking is correct. The bride was young and beautiful. She was not eagerly waiting for the ceremony. Uh, that is also correct. The bride was rich and handsome. So this is incorrect. The bride, it is meant out here. The bride, a wealthy knight who came in, he was both grave and old. So he was not rich and handsome. So that was incorrect. I prithee now. So the prithee out here means I request you. Robin Hood met the bishops. So where had he met? He had met them in the church. It's given here. For since we have come into the church, the bride she shall choose her own dear. So they've come into the church. Which literary device has been used in the expression did shine like glittering gold? So wherever you have like, this is a simile. And study the following statement. The bishop asks Robin Hood the purpose of his visit. This he asks, and he pretends to be a musician. So we can make that out by the first line. What dost thou do out here? The bishop is asking. And I am a bold harper and the best in the north country. So he's a harper. He plays the harp. So both are true. So both A and B are correct. So with that, we come to the end of the comprehension section. Let's move on to the pedagogy part. Dash is a type of learning in which a child has to use higher order mental processes such as intelligence or reasoning. So here we are talking about concept learning. A child does not write a paragraph on her own even after brainstorming, and however, she's able to write under guidance. So this is scaffolding. Which one of the following is a correct statement about a textbook? So it helps to achieve the objects laid down in the curriculum. You're not planning educational, it is not irrepressible. You can't say the same thing. It's not the final thing. As the teacher of class 5, you ask students to read the text thoroughly. Then you ask them to do reference to context. So what are you doing? You are asking them to do intensive reading. You as a teacher appreciate a child for overall language use. Though some are misspelled by here. So what are you doing? You are using the communicative language. So in communicative language, we are looking at fluency. We're looking at the child expressing himself. We're not going to look at each and every mistake that they make. 111 language acquisition occurs only when. So this will occur when you have given exposure to the language, not grammar rules, not just opportunities to read or translation. 112 is a language teacher must promote learning for free writing. So why free writing? Key benefits is it encourages learners to write fluently and creatively. Freedom to write or not is not free writing. Does not they have much to write or be totally accurate? That's not the reason. And in their first language, you don't want. So basically, you want them to write fluently and creatively. That is why free learning, free writing. So dash is a way of estimating or guessing beyond the facts. So that is extrapolation. Inference is always from the text. Okay. But when you go beyond the facts, when you say put yourself in so and so's place and do something, that is all extrapolation. Excluding mother tongue in the classroom is the characteristics of the direct method. So in the direct method, the mother tongue is totally kept away. The purpose of diagnostic test in language learning is to know the gaps and take remedial steps. It is not for PTMs, it is not for progress report, and not for summative assessment. So you are a Hindi speaking teacher, but you get posted in a primary school which is in the area of Punjab. Since you do not know the local language, what will you do? You will communicate in English. Uh, okay, not a great answer. Motivate them to learn Hindi. Now you can't do that. Immediately apply no transfer. So you will use a child's language as a resource and start teaching. When we say language is arbitrary, so what we mean is that there's no inherent relationship between the words of the language and their meaning. That's one of the principles of language or characteristics of language, that language is arbitrary. The rules exist or the meaning exists because we as a society decide that the meaning is there. So deductive approach of teaching grammar advocates that we should present the rules first. So deductive approach is rules, then examples. Which of the following classroom practices helps a teacher to develop oral language among the students? So chorus recitations really will not help. We don't want memorizing. Correct pronunciation of new or unfamiliar words, not really. Chorus reading we don't want. So participating in role plays will help a lot in building up oral language. Dash comprehension is the skill of reading a piece of text closely or intensely for the purpose of extracting information. So this is uh, local reading, similar to intensive reading. So with that, we reach the end of English as Language 1. This is paper 1 of the 7th July 2024 paper. Thank you and follow me for your CTET preparations.